perhaps can be shortened a bit, where you can get the resources from your local suppliers, or your products can also be marketed to your local community. So if we shorten the supply chain, then again will help you to to have this supply chain recovery. Yeah. So the journey of this new normal among the businesses, need to set some kind of priorities. Yeah. Among all these businesses activities, which one need to be really give attention, and which one should be move forward, yeah, for the betterment of the businesses. Yeah. So what I would say just now, right? Talking about supply chain, it won't be happen if there is no transportation, if there is no logistic. Yeah. So the activities in logistics is the one that actually connect, yeah, between one players to another players. So we need to be very strong. We need to have a resilience, the third party logistic providers, in the field, in industry, to help to connect or to distribute, yeah, between the suppliers to the customers. Yeah. So now there's a new trend in Malaysia that we can see at the moment, that we are looking at the Grab services. We are looking for these, like in Indonesia, we do have Gojek, right? But in Malaysia, we only have Grab. We do have these Food Panda, and then the providers of all these solutions are keep growing now. Because why? The demands from the customer to get the products on time, to get the product speed, fast, and to get the flexible or reliable orders. So now most of the companies, they are moving toward these kind of solutions, yeah, to get by using the Grab, what I would say here, the last mile delivery. Yeah. So now some industries in Malaysia, very badly impacted, but some industry at the moment we can see they are taking advantage of this post-pandemic issue. Yeah, because why? During the post-pandemic, then it will be opportunities for them, yeah, to get more demands and more supplies. Yeah. For example, if looking at the food, yeah, people are locked down at home. People are always keep hungry and always go for the apps to get the food, right? And then some more people are not feeling well. They need to get the medical supplies. So the health industry also is improving, by using all the masks, everything, we need to have that. And not to say the logistics on the last mile delivery now is becoming, as the I would say the major industry at the moment. Because why? Without them, the end customers won't get the supplies, won't get the food, won't get anything from the business entity. Yeah. So the transportation and warehousing initiatives or activities, again, need to be comply with the restrictions, regulations, that people are not allowed to have a lot of people, in the warehouse, for example. The social distancing need to be applied. Yeah. And then not to say the importance of the innovations. So now, talking about food industry, right? Now they are becoming creative, yeah, because customers are always hungry. They are looking for the food, right? And to have the fresh food is a bit problematic, because why? They are depending on the supplies to make the food, right? So now most of the food manufacturers or food providers, they are tend to be using the frozen food, instead of fresh food, because customer now, they have changed their lifestyle, since that they cannot dining, at the store, so they just order from the Grab. So now to have sustained or flexible kind of products or foods, right? Now most of the providers, they change to the frozen food. They're using the technology, make it more creative, that the food can be cooked, can be kept in the storage for a while before they can start and cook the food. So these are among the way forward, yeah, of the business entity, to overcome for the post-pandemic, in terms of the supply chain recovery. So as I said, yeah, if you still remain as existing as pre-pandemic, you won't sustain. Yeah, you won't be in a business. So the business entity need to go for the strategy how they can recover from the pandemic by using these kind of strategies, recovery strategies. So I don't want to go detail on this. So these are the examples, the impact of the COVID to the supply chain, to the certain industries. If we look here, surely, because no one of us in Malaysia actually we expected this to be happen, right, in the pre-pandemic. So most of the SMEs, they don't have the risk management mitigation strategy in place. They not even have their resilience strategy in place. So that's why, when we started to have this pandemic, most of the SMEs, they cannot survive because they are not ready. Yeah. So slowly, government is helping them to recover. Taking initiative of these collaborations, having the consortium to help all these SMEs. Yeah. And then looking here on the transportation, the cross-border activities are very less. The import-export, not really active at the moment, in terms of the transactions, in terms of the volumes, in terms of the price. Therefore, because it is not only about Malaysia, because this pandemic is all around the world, right? So if the supplies are depending highly on the international partners, right? So again, disruptions will be there in our local supply chain. Yeah. So therefore, the strategy now is looking, besides looking at the international partners for the supplies, now need to change whether our local partners, they do have the supplies, so that our supply chain will be disrupted, won't be disrupted. Then the supplies is there, the customer will enjoy with the supplies and get their demands. Yeah. Okay, looking at the disruptions of the transportation, the B2B, I would say comparing B2C, the impact is much more to the B2B, business to business aspect, because again, businesses are depending on each other, either to get the supplies or to get the materials, right? So if one player is being disrupted to get the supplies, and the whole will be getting the challenges to sustain and to ongoing their production. So the B2B will be a very huge experience with the, what we say here, the drastic drop in terms of demand due to decline in private consumption for the B2B transportation. Unlike B2C, because now that's why the e-hailing, we do have this last mile delivery, all now becoming as the major, as a main transportation now in the moment in Malaysia. And then the providers are now a lot. I was one of the recipient during the town hall meeting with the one of the ministry that actually in charge for the transportation. So we did agree on the challenges, B2B and B2C, right? So now B2C now is on the top. So they have to be more creative, because there are more and more newcomers coming into the industry. So what would be the innovation that they can introduce, right? That's why we keep saying, the innovation in terms of the robotics, innovation in terms of the drone, perhaps need to be introduced during this post-pandemic. I think as a consumer, as long as I can get my materials, as long as I can get my food, my products on time with a very speed time. So I would love to have all this innovation, to be implemented by the providers, But again, how would be the rate of acceptance among the players? Not to say about the players, but also to the users. Are we ready to go for all these technologies or innovations in their work? Daily life, so that has to be, again, we as academia, we need to provide some guidance to our government, what would be the recommendations, and if we want to go for this strategy, to go for the robotics, to go for the drone, as to accommodate the needs of the industry on the transportation. And then I would say the impact of the air cargo, yeah, because we are not allowed to have all this passenger cargo, yeah, the passenger air. So the airline, so but again, to what extent actually the air cargo for the products are allowed. Yeah, so at the moment we do have a few cases that actually only few providers are allowed to be operated. Yeah, again, to have the benefit of all these post-pandemic, yeah. So the collaborations, the interventions, yeah, need to be established between the players so that we can save costs. So the element here, the factor of the cost reduction need to be as our main objective. Yeah. Okay, and not to say on the oil and gas industry, yeah, because there's an issue on the supply, the price of the oil and gas industry actually goes up, yeah, and then that's impact to the most of the other industries. That also the prices, for the electricity, the prices for the oil, everything actually goes up as same as the oil and gas industry problem. Yeah. So the impact on the healthcare industry, unlike the other industry, but the healthcare industry start to boom, yeah, during this post-pandemic. Because why? Now people need to wear gloves, people need to wear all the masks. So now the demands are catching up. Yeah, the demands are there. So now how much the providers can cope with the demands. Yeah. So we do have here the providers, of the mask, top glove corporation Berhad is the world's largest rubber glove manufacturer, and I mean they have claimed that their sales actually double, yeah, since the February last year. So it starts to have all these knowledge, yeah, to wear all the masks, to wear all these gloves. Then the producers or the manufacturers actually they can start to get the benefit of all this pandemic issue. Yeah. Then in addition to that, the impact on the automotive industry, because the government is not really priority, to give priority to this industry. So most of the shops, most of the plants for the automotive, they are closed. Yeah. Even though if they are allowed to operate, they are only allowed up to the certain number of workforce. Yeah. So the operating cost is very huge for this industry. So again, that's why most of the vendors, yeah, most of the subcontractors, they are not survive for the industry, yeah, for this industry. And then we do have this impact to the hotel industry. So this is a very huge loss to our country. Yeah, at the moment the hotel industry only allowed to be operated only for the sake of to keep people for the quarantine, but not for the tourism purpose. Yeah, so because of that, we can see even the 3-star hotels, some of them actually has closed. Yeah, so this the very huge impact to the hotel industry because the tourism totally lost. Yeah. Okay, and then the impact on Korean industry. So this is one of the good things. Yeah, unlike other industries, but this industry now is on the top among other industry in Malaysia. Yeah, because why? People stay at home, people actually work from home, and then people are not allowed to go out. So the only way how to get products, the only way how to get our goods is by using this online platform or e-commerce. And how do we get the products through the courier industry, right? So we can see, yeah, there's a positive impact, there's a negative impact for all the types of industry that we can have in the nation. Yeah, and then I would say when we have this we done, we try to simulate, yeah, what are those industries that actually benefited from this MCO, and which those industries that actually badly affected by the MCO, and we can list out, because if you look at the my first slide just now, the 17 services that actually allowed to be operated, they might gain, yeah, their benefits during this MCO, but those are not allowed. Yeah, those are not looking at the priority of their products to the nation, to the country. They might be considered as badly affected. right? And time to time, perhaps the academia need to look more detail on the what are those consequences, from this continuum that we have the badly affected and benefited, and what would be the suggestions or recommendations that we can impose to the government, to help them, how we can have less players, on the left side to be removed to the right side, So we cannot deny the food delivery. Of course, people keep hungry because they locked down at home, they stay at home. So they just every time order the food through the food delivery. So the courier industry, postal industry, the last mile delivery are on the top now at the moment. So the food and beverages, as I said, they are actually comprehend each other, the transportation for the food as well the food industry. So these are among the benefited during the MCO. And then the ports, logistic companies, for the cross-border transportations, I would say that the ports actually play a very important role, to be sure, right? The essential services that are allowed to be on the road, that are allowed to be operated, actually it still can get benefit from this MCO. We can see here the healthcare, also move towards the benefited, but the oil and gas, the automotive, the hotel industry, passenger airlines, I mean those are the one actually on the left side, which they are badly affected by the MCO, right? So now if we have done this simulation, and then the mapping can be done on to what extent their resilience to the pandemic, and what kind of strategies they have actually established to tackle or to face the challenge by coming up with the risk management strategy, coming up with the disruption in terms of the supplies to the businesses. So this thing actually, I would say that academia need to step forward, looking at the post-pandemic and how actually we can help these industries, to go back to the businesses and to sustain their businesses. So last but not least, as for now, I do have few research that I actually have conducted that related to the topic on the post-pandemic. Not to deny the importance of this, what I would say, the technology. So we want to see how much actually the people, how much industry now actually accepted the new norms by using this technology for the benefit of the company, for their long-term sustainability. So we have completed the research, and we actually have submitted the article to the conference, not to the journal, in the International Journal of Logistic Management. And until now, we have not yet received the second response from the reviewers, right? We have received the major comments from the reviewer, and we are keep improving the article. So this one way actually, as academia, since like we are working from home, we don't have classes, for example, we don't have supervisions. Actually, we need to step forward to help, to come up with the solutions, to the industry, to the government, and on how actually we are giving them some kind of recommendations that it can in a way help the businesses to be sustained and also to be operated. Okay, so this is the purpose of the research, and this is the methodology. During the COVID, hardly for us to get data. We managed to get about 97 Malaysian firms that actually have participated in the research. And then we have actually come up with some kind of conclusions. And then most importantly, the research is to help the government to come up with some practical implications, that we are hoping that this would be our contributions to the industry. So what we have here, the main environmental pressure that digital technologies are suffering is related to the increasing trend in energy demand and the urgency for them to look into on the solutions, how they can save costs by using this low carbon energy perhaps need to be considered. Yeah. So since industry 4.0, since industry 4.0 is coping with the necessary requirements of production, so therefore most of the companies, they need to be in line with the requirements of the industry 4.0, back to the environment capability, for example, right? Because why? In a way, the effect on environmental accessibility in the COVID-19 is still challenging to predict. Yeah, so they can take this kind of to be as their challenge. Yeah, and then another thing here, to what extent actually, industry 4.0 in the COVID-19 environment could affect the manufacturing accessibility. So this, I think, even Malaysia and Indonesia, we can do some kind of comparison, to benchmark the level of acceptance or the level of this industry 4.0 that applied by the industry, and how much actually they actually can help to affect the manufacturing accessibility in the future. Yeah. So if you look here, this is my framework that we have here. So these are the activities or the production initiatives that we try to see how much actually the COVID-19 environment from the technology can be impacted, and what are those impact to the economic, environmental, as well as the social. And what we found here, IR 4.0 during the COVID-19 has significant influence on the manufacturing, data, granularity, and quantity. And IR 4.0 adoption in the COVID-19 environment has significant influence on the manufacturing automation. And IR 4.0 adoption in the COVID-19 has significant influence on the manufacturing process efficiency. And data, granularity, and quantity in manufacturing and process has significant influence on the economic, environment, and social. So clearly, it's proven by the data. It shows that that the IR 4.0 helps the company in their production to help them to be sustained financially, environmentally, as well as the social aspect. Yeah. So these are the data actually, the data methodology that we have done. Yeah. And these are the results, what actually we have summarized now. So in a way, it's proven, it's proven. So what we have to do now is to go to the field, help the industry to convince them what are those new challenges during this post-pandemic from our research findings. As I said just now, the new business model is required. So they have to change their mindset. They have to change the way how they are operating their businesses, right? Because we are in the new norm. New norm need to have the new business model. But what are those things that we need to be in our new business model? Technological change customer expectations, change the expectations on the aspect of the sustainability. We need to be globalized, markets. We need to comply with the regulations at the same time, cost-cutting issues, and get the lower margins, right? So these are among the, I would say, the put forward, to be recommended to the industry, in 2021. But since we are still in the pandemic with this Delta variant, which is very bad compared to the COVID-19. So perhaps, this also can be done in the next year in 2022. So challenges that need to be given attention to the most of the businesses. So responses to the challenges of post-pandemic, I would say 2 words here. The 2 keywords here: innovation and sustainability. So innovation, example, is very straightforward: last mile delivery. We are using the robotics. We are using the drones. Make it a bit sophisticated, in doing the delivery to your customers. And then by having this innovation, then you can have your sustainability. So reorganize the business processes that can save costs, or you need to have the business diversification, and you can get the sustainability. Yeah. So then I would say, build up a sustainable operating model. So now what need to be here? You need to go and drive superior value to the support market strategies. Need to have the delivering the demands for the consumers which days, enable e-commerce. So again, when you're developing a new framework, when you're developing a new business model, right? So the key element that you need to be embedded into your new business model is the enable the technology, the digital, the e-platform into your business, right? Accelerate smart diversification strategies in the technologies. So now, I think by now, most of the SMEs now, they open their eyes. They already open their eyes, the role, the importance, the impact, why we are so needed to have all this digitalization as well the technologies to be embedded in the business strategy. So cannot deny anymore. It's proven, during the pre-pandemic, they might, overcome the needs of this technology, but during the post-pandemic, I think this is the time where the government can help the industry to boost up their capabilities, their strategies, their competencies in managing the technologies innovation in their businesses. So I think that's all for my presentations today. Thank you for the attention given by the audience on the topic of this post-pandemic, the impact of the technology to the business supply chain. Thank you.
Oke, thank you so much. Kita berikan applause dulu kepada narasumber kita. Thank you so much for your presentation. And so we have any question from participant.